Why would Toshiba potentially be picky about this? Surely they're going to go with Foxconn.
Well, to back up a step, Toshiba is reeling from some financial troubles in its U.S. nuclear business. Of course, it's a broad icon with many different businesses, but it's going through this process of trying to shore up its balance sheet because of the losses, this write-down that it's going to have to take with its nuclear business. So it's looking at selling a number of assets, everything from perhaps its elevator business and hospital business, but really the crown jewel of its operations is this memory chips business, which could be worth $13 billion. It could be worth a bit more or a bit less. So it's begun to solicit bids from a wide range of companies, and Terry Guo from Foxconn yesterday expressed pretty clearly that he's interested. Now, he stands out for a key reason. All the other technology companies interested in this are already in the flash memory business, so they would face an antitrust review or some kind of regulatory scrutiny that could slow down the process, and that's a problem for Toshiba because they need to be able to get this cash pretty quickly. There are also financial bidders in the mix, including a couple of PE firms. But they will not have the opportunity to capitalize on synergies the way perhaps some of these technology companies themselves can. So Terry Guo bid for Sharp in Japan, won a very, very contentious battle to be able to take over that company. And he looks like he's coming back to Japan for Toshiba's chip business.
Well, I mean, it is a crown jewel of any company, and this is one of the central technologies of modern life. So, we have to look at this and see, why he would certainly want to own it at Foxconn because, if you can, and also we've seen how beautiful Foxconn is at executing things and just creating this incredible production machine. And so they will take this technology and drive it forward in a way that others probably cannot. So I think it's kind of a promising idea, but I think it's got to be tragic for Toshiba to lose this extraordinary business.
Yeah, Peter, the valuation, $13 billion, why is it now looking potentially less than they'd originally gone for? What are people picking apart?
Well, certainly bidders know that this is something of a fire sale. Toshiba has to sell. It has to sell relatively quickly. It would like to avoid a tough antitrust review if it goes with some of the other bidders that are already in the flash memory business at this point. It also has this challenge that the Japanese government is not anxious to let this business go abroad. Terry Guo does have a lot of potential to come into this, but he's never really run a business like this before. It's incredibly capital intensive. It's very cyclical. The core business of Foxconn, of course, is assembly. They have these enormous plants in China where they make iPhones and PlayStations and things like that. This is a much more capital intensive business, so it'll be a challenge to integrate it, but he has shown some promise with the Sharp investment that he made a year ago.
Peter, how would you compare this business, this memory business, with some of the other top players in the market, and how important is it relatively?
Well, Toshiba is number 2 in flash memory behind Samsung. Samsung is the leader in this market. And then the others that are below those top 2, SK Hynix, Western Digital, are all a bit smaller than Toshiba. So it's certainly a very, very good business, a very strong business. The Japanese government has been asked questions about whether they would be okay with a foreign bidder taking over this operation, and so far they've said, with some hesitations, that they probably would, although it's very strategically important for the technology industry. They've been proud of this historically, but I think at this point there aren't domestic bidders that have emerged that look like promising contenders the way, say, Foxconn or some of these other companies have.